Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. I'm speaking kind of soft because I'm in my den and it's very early in the morning, very early. People are still asleep, and this is the day before the this is the day before the midterm election across this country. And I am very, very hurt, so disappointed because of all of the division and all of the hate that is expressed in this in this nation that I live in. I'm so sad that we as a people, we as Americans, have not learned any more compassion for one another than we have. You see, we have become so divided. Republicanism, Democrats, all so divided. And everybody think that their way is the most and the best way. And yet every last one of those ways fail when it comes down to meeting the needs and assets of all of the people. None of them do it. And yet they keep bragging about how theirs is more subject to meeting those concerns of the people. And yet as they brag about how theirs is better to do that, only thing they're doing is driving themselves further and further apart. They're not coming closer together at all. And the reason that this is happening is because they don't know. They don't know any better. And some people might think there's something strange with that. But ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing strange with that. If you make a car, the car has a plan, how that car is to be operated. Sometimes something goes wrong with that car. You recognize, identify the part or the system that is failing, and you correct it so that car can run smooth. You don't want a car, once the front wheel's going forward to take the car forward, the rear wheels are rolling in the opposite direction to pull the car a different direction. That car is going nowhere. And so as I see a nation of people who are doing that same thing, and if it's happening, it's being done for some strange reason. Somebody has an idea that's abusing, that's destructive to some. I sit up, and as I'm lying in the bed, today I got up, I just got in the bed, got out of the bed and came in here and started talking. I don't care how I look, I ain't comb no hair, because don't look at me, listen at my message. Here's this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting here thinking, as I'm hearing these candidates running these ads about why they should be the ones that's chosen. And I'm looking at all of this. And somebody said, well, look, Eddie, if you're so compassionate for others, why don't you run for office? Ladies and gentlemen, don't ask me why. Ask me why you don't vote for me. That's what you should ask me. And then I'll tell you, look in the mirror. See, this is what's going on. I think about the workers. I heard somebody on the TV say that brought this to my attention. That I think it had reference to women's wages, women being paid 80% at that rate that men are paid at. And people justify it. Well, she's a woman. She shouldn't. I mean, that's stupid. That is pure D stupid. What is it? Oh, she's a woman, so she should get paid at the same thing as a man. Doesn't that sound like a demon talking? Doesn't that sound like somebody, you would probably call him a con artist, somebody who's running a Ponzi scheme? I mean, you know it would have to be crooked for somebody to say that two people can do the same job, but because one is a woman and one is a man, they should be paid different. That's the biggest expression of jive you can ever imagine. And so I look at the world, because somebody said that a good job, having a job should pay a living wage. One of those commercials for that whatever candidacy, a wage for the said job. I mean a good wage for this job. A wage that would allow them to do the basics of life. No one would take issue with that, except there's a better way to look at it. For what I see is this: the only thing it takes for a person to be able to access those things that are essential in life, as far as the economy goes, is a job. A job. You see, the way the world has it set up, you can have a job, but you might just get paid $15 an hour. And I guarantee you that will limit your ability based upon cost that's put on these various things that you have to do in this life. Some people make $100,000 a year. Oh, that takes them far beyond what a $15 an hour person can do. Some people get paid millions. Oh, that takes you far, far away from what people who make $100,000 can do. And then there are those who are paid billions. Oh, that takes you far, far away from what people with $1 million can do. Divide it like that. What are you doing to make that division? What are you doing? You at a job. Well, what kind of job is it that screws up people's lives and break them down to these standards like that? What is that all about? You see, what I have seen is that everything that are essential, all the things that are essential for humans to exist on Earth, basic. There are a lot of things, but we're going to round it down to food, clothing, shelter, education, and health care. These things are essential for everybody. These are the things that God made sure that everybody would require for survival so that they could work together to make sure that they met one another's needs. And the way to guarantee that, and everybody was entitled to it, was to have everybody have a job. So if everybody got a job, you see, in these jobs you create housing. In these jobs, you create food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare. You do these transportation and other things. This is what you accomplish in these jobs. And who carry these jobs forward? The employee, the workers. They are the ones that are responsible for all of the existence of things that are made by the hands of man. What? The workers, they are responsible for all of the things that are made by the hands of man. And if the workers are responsible for their existence, that's all they have to pay to be entitled to a piece of everything that exists. Because without the workers, it would not exist. It didn't need any money. God gave the material, the skills to bring from those materials what I've just gotten through talking about. They are in the individual, placed there by God as well. And the putting it together to extract and create, that's God. For what? For you. For everybody that needs it. He didn't say, okay, go find some money. Because the only thing money has been doing is destroying. So I'm saying if one gives life, I mean the ultimate life, participation and the benefit thereof, then anything that comes and shortchange that is a thief. It's a con game that's thrown inside of that to mess the wheel up. But my saying this is not new. There's nothing I've said here this morning that's new. And I must say, I'm glad that I'm able to, can't even sleep, but I got to get up and share something that would bring some beauty back into our lives, even though evidence is that for the many years that I have been speaking it, others have been speaking it, it has been rejected, totally rejected. Once there was an article write-up in one of the newspapers in Nebraska a few years ago when I was seeking office for President of the United States, wanted to carry forward that same thing about God's love for all of you, and that anything that robs you of your love is anti-God. And that when I say anti-God, I don't want you looking for some monster-looking thing, somebody with bald hair. I want you to look at you in the mirror. If every last one of you looked in the mirror in this country, that's just limited to 300 million. 150 million of you would see yourselves one way, and it would be absolutely perfect. The other 100 million of you, 100 million, 100.5 million of you, you would see yourselves in a different way. And it would be absolutely brilliant and beautiful. But when you put it together, you would find all kinds of confusion. Why? Because you left the plan of love. Golly, I'm saying love, and I know you have no idea what love is. Ooh-wee. Sometimes I think that the human race have never matured beyond the age of a teenager. And you know, you've never, ever been able to tell a teenager anything. And so that basically means that you, the people, you've never, ever basically been able to tell you anything because you got your own way. And your way is your way. But there are many of you who share in that way. And they all going to the same place. My hope this morning is this. There might be a possibility that the Republicans and Donald Trump maintain their rule at the 3 levels of government. Ooh, it hurts, it scares me because I know what's going to happen. It's going to cause so much pain and suffering. It's going to cause so much death because there's so much hate that comes through that expression. I don't know why. It's just they're fully hate. You know, now kids are getting guns, going to school, killing kids. Little young folks grabbing guns. People going to their jobs, killing people. People going to the military, shooting folks. Everybody's just killing. They're so mad. They're so upset. And it seems that there's nothing they can do. They just crack and grab a gun and just start shooting up people. Trying, saying to the world, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Do something about this. So you go to a concert outside and somebody else, some places is upset because the struggles of life, the challenges of life that have brought out that hate into them, and nobody's thinking about trying to fix it. And so they go and get a car and try to drive all over people, not caring. They're saying, I'm fed up with this. And the only thing we want to do, you know, as a society, is find out who they are and put them in jail and kill them. But what brought them to that point? We, the American people, act like we don't give a good snake. And as soon as we lock this one up or kill him, here comes another group doing the same thing. And so what you're trying to do is end up trying to get the kind of government where everything that you do is policed. You are nothing but one complete slave. You've reduced yourself to that by turning off love. But the opposite is the other direction. No more guns. People, kids, messed up, pissed off, man. Why? Because they're not suffering from the needs of life. The things that they want and desire that their parents and that they struggle for every day is bringing a return that's satisfactory. And it's not limited by somebody over here saying you don't deserve it or somebody over here saying you don't have the right money. It's not limited by that. But that's the kind of stuff that would maintain peace. That's the kind of stuff that would maintain prosperity and joy in life. This stuff that everybody says that they want, but they want it for themselves. And they don't care about anybody else. And so that's where we are today. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I've said anything that means anything to you, but it's just getting something off my chest, getting something off my mind, even though it's still there. But you've listened and I've shared it with you for what benefit. I might have brought some more depression on you. I don't know. But the hope is that love, ladies and gentlemen, what I share with you right now is love. Now, I just want to add, what I just described to you about Republicans does not mean that Democrats are the answer. They are just a different voice. They are carrying the same burdens from the same sources. One is just carrying it a little bit more deeper, a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more hurtful than the other. But they're both the same, and they both have the same outcome. And my whole purpose for getting up this morning is not to talk to you about you believing in politics. I want you to know, first of all, as I get ready to get off this thing, that politics is nothing but an expression of man who have determined that their will for themselves is better gauged and better beneficial, more beneficial for them than what God, who they don't even understand or know, could ever produce. And so they're doing their own thing without God. I don't know about the rest of the world, but in America they say, take God out. You can go over there in that building and talk about God. Pray about God. And that heaven that Marcus talks to you about on earth, you talk about that stuff in the church so they can tell you the only way to get that is to die and go to heaven, because we ain't having it here on earth. Well, that's what they're telling you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to tell you to come back out of that. I want to tell you, if there's a church, let it be you. Make it you, and wherever you are, that's where the message of the church is expressed. There ain't gonna be no hate running over people. There ain't gonna be no hate running there turning people against people. It's time that junk stop. Little kids, black baby, white baby, Chinese baby, all of they just have the greatest time as long as the belly is full and their diapers changed. And that's all they want to make sure is that they're feeling good, their belly is filled, the diapers changed, and they're ready to play. But we around here, oh man, I can't go no further, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you once again. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people, saying, until next time.